The next segment from BuzzFeed News. More than 52,000 people are now being detained by ICE, an apparent all-time high. Interesting. It's really interesting. An all-time high? A record. We've never had this many people detained by ICE? You mean we've got more people apprehended, more families so far this year in 5 months than all of last year? And they're saying on BuzzFeed, they have a statement from an ICE official. This is an avoidable humanitarian crisis manufactured by the Trump administration's harsh policies, a former senior ICE official said. Oh, it's a manufactured crisis that all of these people are trying to come through the border now, and we have these massive caravans that weren't coming before. Who's manufacturing it? I don't care if you're with ICE. I don't care if you're with BuzzFeed. You are a conspiracy theorist if you believe there are organizations orchestrating the migrant caravans to come here, specifically to help Trump because Trump is manufacturing it or something like that. What's the idea? Like, seriously, we know there are nonprofits helping the migrants. In all likelihood, it's just because they help migrants. Seriously, there are probably nonprofits that say, hey, whenever migrants go, we try to make sure they're safe. All of a sudden, there's a massive influx, probably due to the press, if you'd ask me. But now we're hearing it's a manufactured crisis. Well, who manufactured it? They claim Trump manufactured it. So let me ask you this. Do you really believe that Trump is funding, or the Republicans are funding, groups to encourage migrant caravans to form? Because to me, that's insane. So who's doing it? How is this manufactured? If massive migrant caravans keep coming to the U.S. and Trump says, okay, we've got to, upgrade ICE, bring more people in, how is he manufacturing that? Simply by enforcing the rules. So before we go any further, I'm going to stop and say, check out timcast.com/donate if you'd like to support my work and hear me rant about more things like this when I get kind of frustrated. There's a monthly donation option. Again, timcast.com/donate. Cryptocurrency. There's a physical address, but of course, just share the video, click the like button, and comment because that tells YouTube the video is good, apparently. So here's the thing. I have this from the LA Times, an opinion piece. Dear Democrats, illegal immigration is not a manufactured crisis. The story says Democrats and progressives alike have been calling illegal immigration so-called manufactured process. You mean crisis? This is in response to the Trump's often explosive tweets regarding illegal immigration and the need for the wall. The Democrats have every right to disagree with the president regarding border security, such as the construction of a wall on the southern border or the Obama administration procedure of separating children from their parents at the border or the laws in place. However, to say that this is a manufactured crisis is not only factually incorrect, but also deceiving the public. Nancy Pelosi, who is currently Speaker of the House, stated in response to President Trump's Oval Office address regarding the shutdown, this was a manufactured crisis, according to The Atlantic. However, looking at the facts, Pelosi is far from the truth. According to LA Times, in the month of February, there were 66,450 migrants arrested crossing the southwestern border, a rate of more than 2,300 per day, and it was more than almost any month in the last decade. According to Axios, U.S. Customs and Border Protection encountered 103,492 migrants attempting to cross the border illegally in March. According to the data from the Department of Homeland Security, illegal immigration apprehension has increased to record highs, and there is a problem at the southern border. So for those that are listening, you can't see this graph we have pulled up, but I'll explain it to you. We have what appears to be for year 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Check this out. In October of, is this correct for 19? No, this is incorrect. What are they saying with FY19? Yeah, okay. I don't understand. Oh, okay, year to date? Anyway, the graph is kind of, okay, that's 2018. Sorry. So this is, October 2018 was 60,000. In March of this year, you can see a massive spike. It averages for every year around 50, 60,000 into summer months when things get warmer, right? Well, for March, all of the other years we had 57, 39, 46, 16, 50, and now 103. In February, 76,000. Before that, 36, 23, 38, 32. There is a massive, massive increase. So you mean to tell me the migrants, the caravans, the thousands of people riding on the trains, the photos we've seen, the videos, the video of the migrants pushing through the southern Guatemala-Mexico border, manufactured? Can you tell me who's manufacturing it? Or are you implying, over at this BuzzFeed article, this senior ICE official who said Trump's harsh policies are making this happen, are you saying Trump shouldn't enforce our borders? What's the solution? I really, really do not believe there is a nefarious conspiracy plot either from Trump or George Soros or anybody to encourage these people to do these things. Sure, there are probably some people doing it. I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think it's just the dominoes are falling over. The media is talking about it. People feel like they have an opportunity to squeeze through, so they're coming. And the more caravans that come, the more people want to form caravans because you have strength in numbers. We've already seen migrants try and storm through the border, and they were all captured. So who's manufacturing this? If it is a manufactured crisis because of Trump's policies, what's the alternative? Don't enforce the law? Just let the people come in? I'm sure many people on the far left would agree with that. But there are a lot of people who say the Democrats aren't in favor of open borders. Well, then how do you explain this? Tell me, seriously, tell me, what do you do? If Trump is going to apprehend these people, we're going to see a massive increase in people being detained. But then they're going to blame Trump, saying its policies are doing it. What's the alternative? Don't detain them? Just let them go? That's an open borders position. So tell me what to do, okay? Because it seems like all this is really about is just opposing Trump. Yes, sure. Go ahead and believe there's a conspiracy from the Trump administration to send, 10 times or way more migrants we've ever seen. It's absolutely ridiculous. BuzzFeed says as of Monday, ICE was holding 52,398 migrants, of which 998 are family units. An agency official told BuzzFeed News. The number represents a significant population spike from just 2 weeks ago, when ICE was holding more than 49,000 migrants. Advocates expressed alarm at the latest detention figures. What the administration is doing is operating entirely outside the constraints imposed on them by Congress by jailing more and more people every week to now hit a breathtaking record, said Heidi Altman, Director of Policy at the National Immigrant Justice Center. The administration knows very well that this is needless cruelty and there are better alternatives that work and are cheaper and more humane. ICE has requested an increase in bed spaces as it deals with a record influx of Central American migrants crossing the border. How is it both a manufactured crisis because of Trump's policies, as well as a record influx of migrants? I just want solutions, man. And you know what? The Democrats aren't presenting them. They just complain. And I shouldn't say the Democrats, but for the most part, yeah, what are they saying? The wall's immoral? Don't give Trump the money he needs? We have, the LA Times, the Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, New York Times even saying, give Trump his money. At what point does the politicking stop? At what point do the Democrats say, look, when even BuzzFeed says there's a record influx of Central American migrants, something needs to be done. Now, I don't quite understand how BuzzFeed can be of the opinion both that there's a record influx but also a manufactured crisis, but sure, they were quoting ICE, I guess. Administration officials have repeatedly described the entire immigration system as being stretched beyond limit. Well, whose fault is that you're talking about a record influx? One ICE official said the detention numbers have a direct correlation to border crossings. Well, of course they do. This is insane. I just feel like everything's collapsing. If you can't recognize that a record influx of migrants will correlate with a record influx, a record number of detentions, then you're bad at math and you need to go to school and understand what logic means. The population in ICE custody has quickly increased from the Obama era, a consequence of the Trump administration's decision to expand arrest priorities to include nearly every undocumented immigrant, experts have said. In the latter years of the Obama administration, the population level generally hovered around 35,000. What you're saying is Trump's saying that they should enforce the law? It's kind of weird. For real. If you're going to argue that the Democrats aren't in favor of open borders, which they repeatedly say, I'm listening. Because I haven't heard them explicitly say, Bernie Sanders has actually said no open borders. But if you're then going to say it was better when Obama wasn't arresting them, well, now I'm confused. Because if you have a policy not to enforce border control, then you're basically saying the border should be porous. Okay, fine. You're not saying open border, you're saying porous border. Okay, that's where we'll end up. From now on, let's just say the left is in favor of a porous border that allows people to come and go as they please within certain constraints. They're not going to enforce the law. So, basically that's the story, but let's wrap up here. They say Kevin Landy, the former head of ICE's Office of Detention Policy and Planning under the Obama administration, said the immigration surge has been exacerbated by Trump's hardline policies and rhetoric. This is an avoidable humanitarian crisis manufactured by the Trump administration's harsh policies, which are driven by the president's extreme rhetoric and distorted assessments of the migrant population, he said. Sure. I think Trump does have a hardline approach. But I'm also confused because saying that Trump, what they're saying right now is not an argument. Trump says we're going to enforce border control. Okay. What's your alternative? Trump's manufacturing a crisis. Sure. What's your alternative? Trump's immoral. Okay. Can you tell me what your plan is to deal with the record influx of migrants? You can't? Okay, then what are we talking about? You don't like Trump? Sure, fine, whatever. I haven't heard a solution, man. I haven't heard them come up with, like, here's how we can solve this problem. They're asking for more beds. Okay, more beds. Is that going to change the fact there's a record number of migrants crossing the border? A record influx? No? Well, then what are you complaining about? This is why I can't stand politics. It's like the left has been the morality police. They're morality police on YouTube. They're the morality police for people on Twitter and Facebook. And the morality police for Trump when it comes to migrants, but they don't offer up any real solutions. I'm done. Thanks for hanging out. I get frustrated with these stories sometimes because I'm just waiting for a real talk, you know? But more segments to come every day. The podcast will be up sometime after 6 p.m., maybe 6:30 every day, maybe 7. I will see you all on YouTube tomorrow, youtube.com/TimCastNews at 10 a.m. Thanks for hanging out. If you've made it this far on the podcast, leave a review. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all next time.